good morning, and welcome to this special podcasty episode of Judging by the Cover, where I am going to be looking at the Nintendo Direct. Now, mind you, this is a blind reaction. I think I've seen all of maybe one trailer from this Direct because I looked on the Cerebi front page today and saw the thing. So might be a little behind on what some people get because a lot of people, these things come out and they do their reactions like instantly the moment of. But unfortunately, I work an overnight job, so I was sleeping when that happened. Um, but anyway, I have this delicious I found completely unrelated, but I found this apple cider donut coffee that smells and tastes just divine. And I'm not even a particular fan of apple cider flavored donuts in general. It's just the coffee, the scent, and everything. Oh, it just comes off so good. Of course, that also comes from, back when I could just completely go to town on donuts. Not so much anymore. But anyway, I digress. This is the September, September 12th Nintendo Direct, where we are just going to go ahead and jump right in to this whole thing. Start to finish, we're just going to go in. I may be pausing here and there on the Direct just to kind of give some little thoughts on each individual presentation. See, like, oh, what looks good? What's something that I might actually keep on my radar? Because really, that's what I like about these, is being able to go in and see what new stuff is coming out from Nintendo themselves, from indie developers, things that they are promoting and pushing on there, things to get excited for that are coming, either releasing today or down the pipeline. This looks like, oh gosh, some concept art from way earlier in the Mario franchise. That's neat. Oh, not even tremendously early, all the way to Galaxy. Oh, and World, the new 3D World. Concept art and sketches. That's kind of a cool little showcase. A nice way to like lead in here, considering Mario is Nintendo's flagship brand.
I'm Shigeru Miyamoto. We'll start today's Nintendo Direct with the Super Mario Bros.
In fact, let's have
Tomorrow, September 13th, marks 40 years.
There we go. I'm just gonna use the closed captioning there.
We got here because so many people have played. Thank you all very much.
Okay, Miyamoto.
The Mario games have been supported by evolutions in digital technology and gaming consoles. Additionally, Mario has taken on many different designs in the artwork. At the Nintendo Museum, which opened...
That is one of the cool things, how they have allowed the character to be so versatile across so many things. So it looks like they're starting off with a nice little historical retrospective on the franchise as a whole. Kind of a neat thing to do, although it doesn't necessarily, unless they're leading into some other announcement. 40th anniversary ticket.
This December, we're planning a 40th anniversary light display. You'll still need a reservation to enter the museum, but we hope those...
Oh, so they're doing a little museum thing. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now, say what you will about this not being, a game release or anything, but I do think that for the sake of video games as an art form and a media, a type of media, a museum showcase like this is absolutely important to just kind of remember and respect the advancements of not just Nintendo's work, but the medium as a whole and how far it's come over those years.
Since its inception in 1985, the Super Mario series has been running for...
Wow, 1985.
Thanks to everyone...
That makes me feel... Okay, so the Mario franchise is slightly older than me. That's a little, refreshing to hear.
We'll be supporting in other ways as well. If you're interested in marathons, why not take the opportunity to run through Kyoto? Also, coming next spring, please take a look...
If I could actually go to the museum, like if I could do the international travel and all that, I would absolutely make that a part of a trip. The classic mole character. Little orchestral arrangement of some of the classic I know the music probably doesn't pick up too strongly on the microphone or on the internal audio track, just because, I do want to keep it. Oh, Super Mario Galaxy movie? So Super Mario Brothers is getting. So is this is it a sequel movie?
Illumination are producing together is the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
April 2026. Well, that's kind of cool.
Adventures do you think Mario and his friends will have?
Now, I know there was a lot of back and forth about the original Mario Brothers movie. No, well, not original, because the original one with
Let's also hear some remarks
that was set with the live action characters. That one was wild, but that last one, I know it had a lot of back and forth, but for what it was a fun movie and a fun portrayal of characters.
On the 4 decades of creativity, imagination, and adventure that Mario has brought to life for fans across generations and around the world. From its groundbreaking world building to its iconic characters and unforgettable music, the Super Mario Brothers have left a lasting impact on the very fabric of our culture. All of us at Illumination feel so fortunate to continue our collaboration with Nintendo as we expand the life of Mario in movies.
Now, say what you will, but I do have some people that I am a little close to, who are also fans of certain Illumination characters. So, hands down, I think come morning, my wife is going to be waking up, and I'm going to be like, "Hey, Illumination's got a new movie coming out next year." Now, granted, I don't think there's going to be any Minions crossover with Mario Galaxy, but I mean, maybe in their promo materials they might do some crosses with their characters.
And we're also thrilled to welcome back Chris Pratt as Mario.
Yep, that makes sense. I mean, you already got him on as the last time.
Princess Peach. Charlie Day as Luigi. Jack Black as Bowser. Keegan Michael Key as Toad. And Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek. And as we continue to make progress on the Super Mario Galaxy movie, we look forward to sharing more with you in the future. And until then, thank you, and back to you, Miyamoto.
So as an initial reveal for this is kind of cool. Like I said, I wasn't like a diehard fan of like, oh my gosh, must see the movie, but I did see the Mario Brothers movie, and like I said, I thought it was a fun movie. So seeing this kind of a follow-up, seeing what direction they go with it, I'm interested to see what they do. Because Mario Galaxy was also an incredibly fun pair of games. No, speaking of Mario Galaxy, what is this? Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2. They're getting a Switch 2 release, a bundle package. Now, with this kind of thing, a lot of times I'm a little on the fence about it because, like, it is a re-release of something. I don't know how much they're actually going to, like, update the game to give it any kind of new content or new features, especially ones that work particularly well with the Switch 2. But at the very least, like, it has been a while since the Galaxy games on the Wii, so there's probably a lot of people who would not have had the opportunity to play the Galaxy games in their original iteration without having to go and hunt down old hardware. So, for the sake of making the games available to a newer audience, even if this isn't something that I would jump on for a personal collection or where I would try and get it to play and 100% the games myself, I do appreciate that they release these kinds of things to go ahead and keep them available to more modern audiences. A lot of games do that, and there's a very mixed bag about it. I know I've criticized. I've been a little outspoken and critical about Kingdom Hearts with how they handled so many re-releases over the years, but there's also the similar discourse around Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I know Oblivion recently got its remake. Recently-ish, I guess. It wasn't that long ago. Stuff like that, but it also depends on how much they're charging for it. How much they charge for these kinds of remakes or ports also speaks volumes of where their priorities lie, whether it's going to be for the sake of making sure that their pinnacle content is available for newer audiences, or if it's like, okay, now you're really just trying to shell cash grabs with for minimal work. Coming out, October 2nd. Digital versions will also be individually available. Okay, so there's a physical copy, uh, and of course amiibos. They got to have amiibos, and I have been adamantly against amiibos ever since they first came out. But that's just me personally.
Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. Okay, I'll turn it over to the original director for Super Mario.
And again, that's just mostly. I know there's a lot of bias on there. Again, it's not something where I see myself buying it or even attempting. I'm not even going to be keeping it on my radar, like looking for sales or anything, most likely, unless it goes for like a 90% off kind of sale. But if they keep it at what you would think is a fair and reasonable price point for, games from 2-3 generations back, I could see it being something where at least they have the game available for newer players that, quite frankly, could get a lot of fun and they can have a lot of enjoyment with these titles, because I have played the first Galaxy and I've seen a fair chunk of the second Galaxy. They were fun games. Oh, now that is also cool. Like making the storybook, because the storybook in there was like a lovely little children's book of telling the background story of the characters, and having that as a physical product that you could put on your bookshelf. As somebody who likes some physical books, that is cool. I think that would be great for both collectors and families who want to have something like that, like to have those children's books on there for their families. Especially when it's because a lot of times kids are growing up around video games, and parents and families getting to play games with their children is an incredible way to just kind of bond and have that experience together. So having a physical storybook and then later going and playing the Mario Galaxy games could be an incredible way to bond with the family. Oh, another Mario sports title. Okay, I mean, expected. Mario Tennis has been I don't know about one of the biggest Mario sports franchises, but it has been kind of big in there. I think the last one I played was back on the Game Boy Color. Ooh, Fever Rackets. Okay, I mean, you have to, when you have a series like this, you got to have something in there to kind of like spice up the gameplay, add some twists and gimmicks and extra mechanics in there to kind of keep things interesting. Otherwise, you're just releasing the same game over and over again with nothing really. Oh, wow. Now, as far as being 30 rackets, each one with unique powers and abilities, that is genuinely cool. I imagine something like that might get put down in a sort of pseudo-official competitive bracket, because a lot of times players, when they make a party game like this into a competitive thing, like with Smash Brothers or Mario Kart, they might go and limit items or do like no items and flat stages only, depending on how they want to make their like quote-unquote unofficially official tournament rulebook and how they operate their game. But at least for the sake of a party game and a little bit of mayhem and chaos, those kinds of powers just seem like a really cool twist to the game. Now, from what I'm assuming is going to be... Oh, monsters on an island? There's an adventure mode? With carnival games and baby stages. Okay, that is genuinely cool. I could see some, depending on the price, I could see the game being worth it just for the adventure mode alone. On top of, already having a full-blown PvP situation going on there for probably both local and online play.
which change depending on your racket. There are plenty of other modes as well, so please look forward to it.
It kind of reminds me of how Splatoon, like, it mainly focused on the PvP game modes, but it also had the adventure mode or the storyline in there where you would have your specially crafted stages in there that you'd have to fight through. Okay. You know, my wife and I still have to finish Super Mario Wonder as well. Meetup. Okay, that's...
Here, you can enjoy a variety of attractions that let you team up with or work against friends and family.
Oh, okay.
Over some of the things you can do.
So, like, extra mini games that they're adding into the game. Hopefully, if that's a free DLC, I am 100% on board. Since we already have that game in my household.
Your chance to get rich.
Whoever has the most lives at the end wins.
Use items to duke it out. Dodge attacks and try to survive.
Wow.
Whoever's it at the end loses.
Run and hide and tag. If you're tagged, you're it. And the other players get to transform and hide.
Work together to relay.
Pass the bob-omb to each other so it doesn't explode before you reach the goal.
Oh, okay, that's a little interesting twist there. New goal stages, new mission types.
Run across them.
So cooperative play and player versus player levels. So honestly, that's kind of cool. I feel like it kind of turns it into a little bit of a Mario Party type of situation.
2, 3, jump. Plus, there are so
Where it focuses more on the fun of these mini game type of situations, which honestly, for as short-lived as some of them may be, for people who already have the game, it gives them a new way to enjoy and appreciate the game title. The fact that they have that coming out, I'm hoping it's a free DLC that just comes bundled in with an upgrade.
in the future.
That's kind of one of the concerns I have, is how many of these are going to be for additional charges on the Switch 2 edition.
Launches on Nintendo Switch 2 next spring.
Okay, so spring. By the time that comes around, I'm gonna have forgotten about it, actually.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder is getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. As its
Are you
name implies,
going to say anything about
Mario
its
Park has
price?
more multiplayer options to enjoy. It also adds other new content, so stay tuned for more details in the future.
Because honestly, that's one of the big things that I am concerned about, is the price that they put on this. The Talking Flowers getting their whole little thing. Aw.
Oh, really? Sometimes they'll talk on their own, just like that. These talking flowers can make everyday life a little more fun. They're planned for release next spring. Okay, next is the last game for the Super Mario Bros. 40th anniversary part of this presentation.
Oh my gosh, how far into this are we? 17 and a half minutes so far, and it's only been Mario. 40th anniversary Mario, what you got? Yoshi eating fruit?
One day, on the island where Yoshi and his friends live,
Wait.
a talking book named Mr. E suddenly falls from the sky.
A new Yoshi story?
The book has information within its pages about unusual creatures. But it can't actually see what's written down.
Because I know, what was it? I think the first one was Super Mario Brothers 2, Yoshi's Island, where you were carting around Baby Mario. And then there's Yoshi's Story, which followed, like, the similar kind of gameplay.
We found it right away. It tastes kind of sweet. You can carry this creature on your back.
Oh?
Touch flower buds with it, and they'll bloom. As you wander through the book, you'll make all sorts of discoveries about the creatures you find. And those discoveries will be written down. Hey, we found some dandelions. them and they'll scatter in the air. Oh no, that creature is stuck.
Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. This game is too freaking cute. This All right, when Donkey Kong Bonanza showed, it became one of those shut up and take my money moments. This game might be another one. I'm trying not to be an absolute and complete shill for, every big name Nintendo game that comes out. But this looks incredible with their holy that the boss fight? Well, I mean, quote unquote boss fight. So Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, it seems like it's another kind of like what is it? In that same vein of Yoshi's Island, Yoshi's Story, Yoshi's Woolly World, the similar kind of gameplay, at least at its core, that focuses a lot on level exploration to turn into a bit of a collectathon. That's what it looks like. That's the vibe I'm getting. But again, depending on the price point or if I can get a good deal or a sale or something, it might be a shut up and take my money situation. Just because the game looks like it just has the vibe of pure fun. Which honestly, even when games aren't hard, if it's fun like that, sometimes that's all you really want. Ooh, moving on to others. Cryptica. Okay, what is Storm into Cryptica? Roguelike adventure? Okay. 80s anime. Oh! I'm always down for some interesting couch co-op options. Okay, Storm Lancers is what it's called. And, available later today. You know what? I might have to give Storm Lancers a closer look. Okay, I don't exactly have the time now. Let me write that one down. And then what's this? Dinkum? Dinkum, I think that's another one of those, like, cozy exploration games. Okay, this is definitely hitting that kind of cozy game vibe that honestly might be the kind of game that I've been craving lately. I know on this YouTube channel, I have been doing a lot of just daily episodes of a couple of cozy games where I'm going to have to kind of adjust my schedule a little bit to get some stuff up. Available November 5th. Okay, colorful adventure. All right, cute little robo-like characters. Popucom.
Team up locally or online in this multiplayer-only game. On this planet, color is key. Attack enemies with the same color to defeat them.
Wait a minute, it's Puyo Pop!
So you'll need to swap between them during battle. Timing is critical too.
It's cooperative 3D Puyo Pop.
You can also use items like shields to block lasers.
Honestly, I'd say that's kind of neat.
Powerful bosses can be found at the end of
stages. Ooh.
To take them down. Additionally, in party mode, up to 4 pals can take on a variety of challenges together.
All right, now that is some genuinely cool shit right there. I might have to actually pause this one to get some thoughts here. So Popucom, where's my... So Popucom there, that one looked, I would say, genuinely neat. Up to 4-player cooperative play for what is clearly a third-person action like action platformer, I guess I would describe it as, but a twist on Puyo Pop's themes and mechanics with the whole multicolor matching. Uh really for something that's such an old puzzle game that's had like so many iterations over the years, that is a cool way to do it. Now, I don't know that I'm completely sold on the characters themselves. Like you probably go ahead and adjust your avatars with some customizable costumes of some sort from a stock array of options. So I don't know if I would really care too much about those, but the fact that the gameplay is what it is, I could see it being a fun novelty, but that's another one that I would look at and be like, okay, what is the price point that you're selling it as, especially when it's multiplayer only, meaning you're going to have multiple people playing the game, maybe multiple people having purchased the game in order to really get the full experience out of it. Unless there's some couch co-op option where you and somebody sitting next to you can go ahead and do a two-player run or something, it could be cool to see. But again, that's going to be very dependent on the price point and seeing what kind of player base maintains over time, because that's a challenge with multiplayer only games. Is the longevity of the game depends on players being active and present in the game with you, especially depending on how you go about your experience with those players. Whether you go into random matchup lobbies, which frankly can be terrible depending on who you get matched up with. If their objectives don't line up with yours, then they could just completely bomb stages for you or completely troll you while you're playing. Unless that's a part of the fun for you, is figuring out how to not let people do that, and trying to salvage runs, or if it's only options of playing with your friends, so with people that you can communicate with and uh, coordinate with in real time. It's probably something where they want to push the Switch 2's uh, live chat option that it has, although that one, from the trailer footage that I saw of that back on the Switch 2 launch, it did look like they have like some frame rate stuff to work out if you're going to set up voice chats and camera chats on the Switch 2. Overall, it looks like a fun game, but it is going to be skeptical based on, like I said, the two things: price and player longevity. Okay, here's one that I have been
On this small island floating in the
sort of
sea,
excited for:
follow Mii characters, each living their own carefree lives.
the Tomodachi Life.
When is the game coming out?
Let's take a look at what's happening in the Tomodachi Life Living the Dream game.
So maybe they're going to show us something that we haven't seen before. Obviously, you have your Mii,
You can create Mii characters of
all
any
kinds of
kind
facial
like your own Mii.
customizations. That is, just very classic to it, but they're making very human faces, where I've seen the Mii makers make some very creative Tomodachi characters that were completely inhuman or based on like other famous characters.
Can't wait to start living here.
The Mii characters you create will enjoy their island life however they see fit. Wonder what's up?
I'm so hungry.
Food for thought.
Right. So this is very reminiscent of what the original Tomodachi Life was, where you'd have to give them some food, they would determine whether they liked it or not,
Looks like that hit the spot.
give them
This game
gifts.
looks
You can
boring,
see their little
but
character
most
moments.
Someone needs a pick-me-up.
Oh, you can actually pick up and drop characters to interact with each other. Okay, now that can at least kind of maybe add some of the relationship dynamic. Like, you had to rely on RNG of the original 3DS Tomodachi Life to get that. So being able to kind of
This is just a small
push those
slice of life
interactions
here
to
in
each
the
other.
Stay tuned for more information in the future.
I was okay for this one. I have to give like a solid low rating to that little trailer. The Tomodachi Life one, I want to see more about it. I want to like it. I want Tomodachi Life to be successful, and I want it to be fun. I enjoyed it on the 3DS, but part of the thing about the 3DS was that you could go ahead, play it for a little bit, but there wasn't a whole lot of interaction you could do with it. Yes, you could make the characters sing songs to different music. You could write up the lyrics, but then you had to like try and adjust it and test it to make sure the lyrics fit the rhythm and the melody. Um, you could make them say some completely off the wall stuff with that. But at the end of the day, there wasn't really a whole lot of game to it. So many of the events were just little RNG moments. And even though a lot of them had they had a lot of novelty to it, it felt like the kind of game that would have been more at home on a mobile app than it would have been for an actual, video game that you're spending $40 on the 3DS, or what I'm afraid might end up being $60 on the Switch. Hopefully not, because the first Tomodachi Life, if I were to go and buy it again, I would not spend $40 on it, especially if they really don't add much to the gameplay aspect of it. I like the idea of Tomodachi Life, but again, it's something that would just be more at home to, clicking a couple buttons on your phone when you have downtime during the day like you would with a mobile app. But then if they go and do something like that, you know that the mobile app would be rife with microtransactions. Miitomo had that kind of issue in there where, you could buy coins for extra pachinko drops or something like that. I think that was like one of the little mini games. Um, and it left a very bad taste in the mouth, especially when Miitomo uh, did not really last at all. Like, it didn't have the kind of staying power that other apps have. And I'm afraid that I really fear that Tomodachi Life, the living the dream, might be kind of similar, even though instead of just an apartment building, you have a whole island. And they did show that you can drag two characters together to force them to interact so that you can try and push more of those moments. But overall, I don't know. It just seems like something that I want it to be good, but I'm very much tempering my expectations. Trying to find my mouse. Where's my? There it is.
We interrupt to bring you some breaking news.
Okay, Miyu's.
Following previous reports of a 2026 release date, we can now confirm.
Okay. Well, when you're talking about release dates and news for it, this is actually a genius way to announce this information. Spring of 2026. Okay.
There was breaking news in that trailer. Tomodachi Life Living the Dream will launch next spring.
So I definitely need to keep that one on my radar because I would like to do a full-blown judging by the cover review of that as we get more information.
Please wait a little longer.
But now again, I really want I really want to like it. I want it to be good. But based on the original Tomodachi Life, I loved it when it came out, but I find it hard to really justify the kind of, big game expense for the amount of gameplay that it had to it. Dash, slash, and crash. Okay, so this is going to be some... Oh, okay, look at that! Oh, but is this the bloodless version? Oh, man, how do you have Mortal Kombat without the blood splatter? Oh, multiple versions.
So fight your pals locally or take the in-game tournament global with added support for online play. Want a break from
Now that is as dated as the original Mortal Kombats may be, they were hallmarks of the fighting game genre at the time.
prepare to test your might when Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection launches digitally on Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch.
Okay, digital version and physical version. Now this is one I'm not going to be doing a full judging by the cover review of this one because it is just basically a re-release of very old games, but it is kind of cool they have that going in there. First game in the... Oh, okay, so Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to the Switch now? Now, granted, the Switch is probably a little late to getting this game, but the fact that they are getting it eventually is at least pretty neat. For people that, don't want to, might not have gaming PCs or might not have the other consoles that it's been released on, having it available on more consoles is just good for players in general that want this kind of experience. And considering that the game did look really good. Linked Banner of the Spark. Wait, battling and resource collecting. And
Unlock powerful abilities.
is that a
You can also
guitar as a weapon?
harvest crops, and craft items between missions. Online, you can team up with friends in co-op or via game share. Mouse controls are also supported on Nintendo Switch 2. Linked Banner of the Spark.
Oh, Linked Banner of the Spark available today. Okay. Okay, that one I might have to actually give a full look. It looks like, I mean, farming game with the little cozy mechanics, but it looks like, I'm guessing, a kind of instanced mission-based gameplay where you go in and do like a little dungeon crawl. That might be kind of cool to look at. Again, a lot of these are very much depending on prices, which they're not going up on. They're not announcing prices on here. That does kind of irk me. But then again, if this is a global, like Nintendo Direct is a global announcement kind of thing, they probably have to go and leave those off of this direct video so that people can go and see it on their eShops and their stores in their local markets to see what the actual prices are, because international pricing will be kind of wonky just because of currency rates. Now, at a very brief look, it does look interesting, and I would like to get a closer look at this one. It might be another one of those kind of, yeah, let's see what the farming mechanics and stuff look like on that.
Launches on
And it's
Nintendo
also
Switch
available
2
on the
and
base Switch,
Nintendo
not only the Switch 2.
later today.
Super Giant Games. Wait, this is. Oh, it is Hades. Okay. Now, I have not played Hades, but I have played some roguelikes and I have played some action RPGs. So Hades, I know just from exposure to, the gaming sphere and everything, that Hades is a pretty popular hallmark of both of those styles of game. Honestly, their protagonist character looks really badass. And their animated intro sequence here is pretty incredible. Now, I don't know how much that animated sequence is going to translate into the actual gameplay. But the fact that they put this kind of work into it, I do know from the original Hades, the artwork of the original Hades, that it was stylistically incredible in its gameplay, not just in its trailers.
I'll do both.
Ooh, Death to Kronos.
Beyond the underworld of Greek myth in Hades 2. Play as the princess of the underworld to take on the sinister titan of time.
All right, so
Weapons of night, the sister blade.
going further into that Greek mythology, that's pretty cool. I wonder how accurate it is to, the actual historical mythos of Greek mythology. Now, I know Kronos is like a big figurehead, the Titans being the precursor to the Greek gods. So seeing how that plays out, but I do remember like Kid Icarus also had some of that Greek pantheon situation going on, but it was very, it took creative liberties with the pantheon. But the Kid Icarus lore was still fun in its own right. I did play Kid Icarus Uprising, and the way they style their characters and their gameplay. Okay, seeing the gameplay footage here does also look incredible. September 25th. That might be one to look at too. Now, again, I haven't played the original Hades, so maybe I should look at both of those games together if I do a judging by the cover on those. But it does look good. Meebo training for... Oh, yeah, I heard briefly that there was a Kirby Air Rider situation going on.
And their machine's proficiency level will also increase. Plus, with the Amiibo, you can swap riders.
I don't know how I feel about the whole amiibo integration because, again, that requires owning the amiibos. Now, I know that there's some maybe slightly less than official ways to get around the whole amiibo issue. But the fact that so much of the gameplay, like they are pushing the amiibos, I don't like that so much of the gameplay is like linked to the little physical toy that, you know, it's a glorified DLC item. Of course, a new Hyrule Warriors. So fans of Zelda in general and fans of Warriors games, Age of Imprisonment.
After traveling back in time, Princess Zelda meets the first king of Hyrule, Rauru, and the queen, Sonia.
Wait, what?
To take on Demon King Ganondorf in a
Wait, so is this Zelda meeting her own ancestors?
imprisoning war. Take on hordes of enemies as you fight alongside your allies. Like this brave Korok.
So this is what I think the third Hyrule Warriors game. Now, I have not played either of the other two. I just know that they're kind of like loosely tied in to some of the Wii and like the Wii and later Zelda games. But they really lean into the characters' power sets.
Depending on the pair, Sync Strikes can deal high damage or have a variety of other effects.
Ooh, okay. So like so character pairings for different kinds of combo play is an interesting little split screen co-op. Oh, okay. So split screen co-op is neat. Even if only one player has the game. Now, that right there, setting it up so that you only need one copy of the game, just a quick pause there, is an incredible thing to advertise. That way you don't have to have, because that's obviously going to be a big AAA game of $60, $70, $80, you know, being big Switch 2 title. It's going to have that big price tag. But the fact that you can play with somebody without them having to also buy the game, since, you know, they're basically playing as an added support in your save, that is refreshing that they have that kind of dynamic to it. But you also don't have to worry about split screen situations, because those things, now split screen is a nice way to be able to play with other people, but that also kind of diminishes how much of the screen space you have to see what's going on. And in an action-packed game like that, being able to see the game around you is going to be a huge factor in probably more so your enjoyment than your success, probably, especially if, you know, you get a little bit of skill, you get good. But being able to enjoy the visuals is going to be a huge part of the spectacle.
Ancient truths that were only glimpsed in The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Ooh, so more lore expansion from Tears of the Kingdom? That's kind of cool.
Warriors: Age of Imprisonment launches on Nintendo Switch 2 November 6th. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop.
So there's time travel and something where, you know, a la Chrono Trigger, the princess meets her ancestors situation going on. It's a cool little motif.
Right. That's enough for one day. Time for me to head back to the castle. And remember, not a word about this place to anyone. There's more to the world than this island, and we're going to prove it. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Tokyo Metropolitan. Oh, it's Dragon Quest. Okay, so these look like characters I've seen, but I haven't played this Dragon Quest game. If it is a remake, then again, a lot of Dragon Quest characters do look kind of similar because, you know, Toriyama has that very distinctive art style that very much pervades all of the character designs he's got.
A group of young heroes embark on a journey to reclaim a lost world. As they venture into the unknown, they'll encounter mighty foes and a myriad of twists and trials. What awaits them?
Of course, the Dragon Quest music is just iconic in here, and the fact that they have like this whole orchestral arrangement to it is just it's audibly gorgeous. Oh, is there some father son? Now, Dragon Quest also has some strong themes of like family legacy and family ties. So that right there, that scene looked like a whole little glimpse of the character. What I would guess is the character's father. Okay, yep. 7 reimagined. Now, when you say reimagined, does that mean that it's like, is that just a remake, or are you actually like kind of twisting it the way Final Fantasy VII did with their remake, where it's like, yes, it's a remake, but they really did a lot with it to make it its own thing. Okay, I guess that's it for that's all we get for the reimagine. We're not going to get clarification on what the imagine is. You know, honestly, I forgot that Nintendo app was a thing. I did install it, but I haven't I barely look at it. Okay, they are releasing constant updates about Kirby. Okay, what's going on with the expansion pack? Go ahead, fill us in. Like, what more am I getting for the money that I'm already shelling out to you on that family plan?
Coming to Nintendo Classics, Virtual Boy. You'll be able to enjoy a collection of Virtual Boy games in stereoscopic.
You'll be able to enjoy a collection of Virtual Boy games in Guys, I think enjoy might be a bit of a strong word for that. I mean, have you seen the visuals of the Virtual Boy?
3D while playing on Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch. In order to play, you'll need this dedicated accessory.
You'll need the accessory. Why?
By inserting a console to play.
No.
Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch are supported.
Why?
Play Mario's Tennis. Galactic
Oh my gosh, no.
Telero Boxer.
There's a reason the Virtual Boy flopped.
Games shown here are planned to be released over time. Virtual Boy, Nintendo Classic.
Who asked for this, Nintendo? Oh, Nintendo, why? There's a reason the Virtual Boy flopped. There are several reasons it flopped. Those visuals are not something you want plastered right up to your eye. Those things probably caused more eye damage than, sitting too close to the TV, which I'm definitely doing right now. Oh my god, Nintendo, why? Why? No! More Virtual Boy Nintendo. What, like, all less than 20 games that were available to it? Or are you going to be making new Virtual Boy games?
We hope you're looking forward to Virtual Boy, Nintendo Classics. Okay.
Like, even the 3DS's 3D feature was so ignored that they eventually made a 3DS without the 3D. Crimson Butterfly soars again. Okay.
A place said to have vanished from the map.
Oh, is it? Oh, there's a new Fatal Frame. Oh, not new Fatal Frame. It is a remake. Never mind. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake. Okay, so I have not played Fatal Frames either. I didn't even know that they had much of a fan base to warrant, remakes and re-releases of the games. But I mean, the games do have a kind of novelty to them, from what I've seen. I think it's centered on cameras and photography. And I mean, it's a cool take on a horror game motif where, I guess you have to solve the puzzles. Like they said, you're pacifying ghosts and probably gradually unveiling the story as you go. Ooh.
Where will the Crimson Butterfly lead them? Fatal Frame 2.
On top of, story-driven horror games or spooky games like that are quite frankly, an interesting motif for gaming. It really allows a kind of immersive take into spooky and horror genres. Not something that I'm particularly a fan of, but it's cool to see that, they have their appreciation. Pirate Warriors. So Hyrule Warriors and now Pirate Warriors. Although, frankly, you know what? Oh, pause. So One Piece as Pirate Warriors makes a lot of sense, like for that genre of game where the Warriors genre it's quite frankly something that you could put 100 different skins on and still have enough customization. Like you could reskin it and it basically be the exact same game with different characters and that just have like washed over skill sets. Although the Warriors game formula also allows you to really customize the characters' power sets for your battlefield missions and all that. And One Piece is one that does have a lot of diverse characters with radically diverse skill sets to capitalize on for making that game. So that kind of as somebody who does not play Warriors games, the fact that it is there and it is an option, it's cool to see that they are testing those waters and making more Warriors games to explore that and to really capitalize on it. Now, looking at this Overcooked 2, I already don't like that they plaster the people's real photos on there. It's not even a concern over any kind of appropriateness for Overcooked. I feel like it looks tacky. I did a judging by the cover review on a sitting by the campfire game that was for the Switch 2 that had something like that, and it just looked so tacky. Similarly here, like just have the colored characters, turn off the player portraits. Oh, okay. Stardew Valley, Nintendo Switch. Oh, mouse controls for Stardew Valley, Nintendo Switch 2. Okay. 4-player split screen multiplayer on the Switch 2. I might have to rope my wife into now granted that's only 2-player and I know 2-player split screen was already available, but the fact that they're getting that in there, if I could get a couple more friends over, that'd be a cool little thing to try out. Hold up, Game Share? Oh, and new levels for Human Fall Flat. I did now. Fall Flat is not something that I have any exposure to, but the fact that they are still releasing new levels for it is kind of cool. I did a quick Google search just to see like what the most sold games of all time are, and I saw that Human Fall Flat was on that list. Not franchise, individual game titles, and Human Fall Flat was on that list of most sold games. So the fact that they're they have new content going on there, I would have never guessed that it would reach the levels of popularity and game sales numbers that other big titles have had.
Craving more to clean? Power Wash Simulator makes its triumphant return with a shiny new entry in the relaxing Clean 'em Up series.
All right, now this is another one. I did do a judging by the cover of Power Wash Simulator where the game itself is interesting in its own right, but it looks like it would be more fun to play with people rather than to just do single player campaign. But there's also the issue of so much paid DLC that catapults what would have been a reasonable indie price tag into a AAA price tag just to get all that DLC content.
As you explore even more of Muckingham, then venture into new grimy locations, including Detergento and Lubra City.
All right, so more focus on lore and exploration, I guess, maybe?
And spruce up the place with furniture and accessories you've collected. And for the first
All right, I mean, that's a cool feature.
can make progress in the campaign together in online co-op. Or split
Again, online co-op.
players with local split screen.
So yeah, like I said, the co-op play seems to be what would probably be the most interesting way to enjoy this, since you could just kind of banter with other players. But without that, I feel like it probably wouldn't be that much fun for me. Much similar to the first one, especially depending on their price tag there, in addition to whatever price tag they tack on with the DLC. Fruit matching. What are we looking at here?
And rounder than ever. This time, the fruit falls toward the center of a circle.
Suika Game Planet. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've seen mobile games like this that I was very unimpressed by.
Fruit dropping fun. If you combine fruits a certain number of times, it's super evolution time. When
Okay, with a super evolution mechanic on them.
points based on the number of fruits you merge. Plus, with the Nintendo
Honestly,
Switch,
it's a cool puzzle game.
play with
With a like because of the size difference in your game pieces, it is very different from like your Puyo Pop, your Tetris, your Magical Drop. So it's not a bad game concept. Oh wow.
Suika Game Planet launches on Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch this winter.
Especially with the circular motif to it, where you're working in around a central point of gravity as opposed to a typical top-down format. So that's kind of a cool little thing, but it's something where I would hope that there's not too much of a price tag, because again, it's the kind of thing that I've seen in mobile games that I found very unimpressive. So they would have to really do something to warrant paying much for. So I'm hoping that that's not a very expensive game. Now, that is a bomb diggity. Oh, wait. Samus on a motorcycle? I mean, let's be real. Why hasn't Samus had a motorcycle already? And also, are they going to put that bike in the Mario Kart world? I want that bike in Mario Kart world. Holy crap. Open field bike levels? And then it goes for... Is this a Metroid Prime game? Okay, Metroid Prime, another game series that I have not played, but I have a respect for the series and the fan base of the series. If this is a Metroid Prime thing with that freaking bomb diggity motorcycle motif, Metroid fans, go ahead and hype on this. It looks great. Just on an initial trailer look. Oh, hello. Prime 4 Beyond. The trailer looks good. December. Oh, come in December, just in time for holidays. So anyone out there looking for gifts for your Metroid fans, Metroid fan friends, keep an eye out on those, unless they go and buy it for themselves, which, you know, hopefully you can talk them out of that. Oh, is this the Banana Slamma situation? What do we got going on? Yep. Oh. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Donkey Kong and Pauline going back to Congo Bongo? Wait,
This new edition lets you barrel
this a
around
two-part like the Pokemon DLC?
of some familiar faces. And if you finish the main game story, VoidCon will offer you a position in the ranks of the Void Company.
You can join the Void Company in the DLC? What the hell?
Much shiny green ore as you can in Emerald Rush. Meet your emerald quota within the time limit to clear each round.
Okay, so new round mission for Voidco.
Collecting fossils to gain perks. Collect a fossil and you'll get to pick from 3 random ones. Perks have different effects, like getting more emeralds from defeated enemies or more jam-packed treasure chests. There are all sorts to choose from.
I know in the base game so far, I know I haven't been streaming or recording it. I've just kind of been enjoying it in my own time. I have kind of focused on getting the
Smash Vanadium gems to gain random skills that power up Donkey Kong during your run.
ooh, charge dash?
Your perks and skills reset after each run.
Oh, interesting.
Vanadium gem locations stay the same. Refine your winning strategy with each go.
Wait, so it's like speed runs for the Voidco to try and get mission objectives.
In-game rewards based on how well you did.
That's kind of cool, actually. Like, it's basically a speed run challenge mode.
Play on DK
That's kind of cool.
Plus, you get
Ooh, Emerald. So Emerald Rush game mode as just kind of it's a little challenge mode content on top of visiting DK Island.
DK Island and Emerald Rush.
Oh, paid DLC. Okay, you know I have to look at the price tag for that one. Now it looks cool. The price of the DLC is really going to affect my judgment on that.
Donkey Kong Bonanza is getting paid DLC called DK Island and Emerald Rush. Please look forward to collecting.
Like the Emerald Rush, it's basically a challenge game mode that I feel like if the thing was just that, I would feel like that should not be a paid DLC. That should be like basically a free add-on to the game. But if DK Island seems to really add enough content to warrant the price tag, and I wouldn't be as put off by it. But again, it really has to kind of warrant that price tag for it. Wait, okay. This is the one I heard about on Cerebi. So what is this Ditto's story? Like in this ruined house, pop out of a Pokeball, and now all of a sudden you turn into a Ditto person. All right, now up front, one of the first there was a block like a cubicle-based Pokemon game that was on mobile and on the Switch. Oh gosh, I forget the name of it, but it basically had this exact visual style as far as the level structure, where it was all block based like this. So having this in here with that familiar structure, also, you know, it gives it a very like Minecrafty kind of look to it. But at the same time, I'm getting very Animal Crossing vibes from it, like Minecraft Animal Crossing vibes. So the Bulbasaur is talking to you like a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. The weird thing is, just earlier this week, I saw a conversation online where people were talking about how they wanted a Pokemon cozy game, like in a similar vein to Pokemon Concierge. And then we see this.
You can make grass grow. Squirtle's water gun will keep it all healthy.
So the Ditto has to befriend Pokemon and learn their moves. Like, so we did see Leafage and Water Gun being learned by Ditto. So tree cutting, terraforming. Oh wow. Yeah, that was straight up Minecraft terraforming going on there. A crafting bench and farming. Oh my gosh, it's Pokemon Stardew Valley, guys. This game is going to make fucking bank. Oh my god, the way the water came down in the waterfall, that was exactly Minecraft look. It's Pokemon Minecraft Stardew Animal Crossing, and I don't know why, but I love it. As a longtime Pokemon fan who has been, like, I don't usually jump on spin-offs, but as somebody who has grown more and more appreciative of cozy games and chill vibes, this looks like exactly the kind of thing I would... Wait. Holy shit, did they make... Wait a minute. This... Hold up. This looks like an actual, like, game route almost. I'm trying to place it on, like, what route this is supposed to be. I'm getting a kind of vibe of Johto, the way Sudowoodo is up here blocking a path. But then the Pokemon Center's placement here, that's too far out of town for the thing. I do see a Tyranitar and an Arcanine up there behind those other barriers. So in a cave, you got other stuff. We got the lake over here, all the water Pokemon frolicking. Oh my... Available 2026. Oh my gosh, Pokopia. If I did more editing in my videos, this is where the SpongeBob I need it meme would go.
A brand new Pokemon game Switch 2. We hope you're looking forward to Pokemon.
And specifically to Switch 2. Okay, yeah. I am glad that I got the Switch 2 now because that is... It's so adorable and cozy looking, and I want it. And of course, we do have to get some information on Pokemon Legends ZA. This is another one I am really looking forward to. This one. This is another shut up and take my money kind of game. Especially after I did, you know, the 100% completion on the first Pokemon Legends. Going into battle zones and all that. Now, it is very much a single-player campaign. I did see in a previous announcement they do have some multiplayer content, but it's more like multiplayer knockout challenge as opposed to actual PvP. So it's still like largely a single-player campaign, I'm guessing. Oh, Mega Evolutions for the Kalos starters? Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, these designs are absolutely wild. Upside down ninja star, and then a witch, like, surfing on the broomstick design. That is incredible. We do see the, what looks like a bit of a pseudo-raid battle with the Mega Evolutions. That's pretty cool. Of course, classic Megas coming back too. The Charizards. Of course, Zygarde has to be a part of the story. The original Pokemon X and Y, I think it is almost universally agreed on that the original X and Y really dropped the ball on Zygarde's inclusion in the game. The way it was just kind of this off-route thing where it very much felt like the kind of thing that was set up to be a Pokemon Z version, the way that Kyurem was the Pokemon Black 2, White 2, the way Giratina was set up for Pokemon Platinum. Like, Zygarde had so much more potential in that, and we didn't get anything for it until Pokemon Sun and Moon. But even then, it was kind of like a side quest throughout the game that didn't even really fit the motif of the game as a whole, considering that, you know, Sun and Moon had their own environmental guardian Pokemon with Solgaleo and Lunala. So making sure that Zygarde somehow fits into this story is going to be a requisite for this game going over well, I feel like.
Discovered in Lumio City, where people and Pokemon live. Pokemon Legends.
So the new Megas, I am so far loving the designs. I know they're hit and miss with some people, and even the ones where I'm like, you know, I think that's a really stupid or goofy design. I even like the stupid, goofy designs. Oh boy, Hoopa, what the hell are you doing? Oh my god, Raichu X and Y. Raichu getting the Charizard and Mewtwo treatment. That's a little hilarious. Hey, Gorochu has finally been realized. Paid DLC for Mega Dimension. Okay. Now, again, paid DLC... Okay. Legend ZA isn't even out yet, and they're announcing paid DLC for pre-orders on the eShop, so that's a little ballsy. Pre-orders for DLC for a game that's not even out, I'm like, okay, guys, let's not jump the gun here. Maybe, like, actually get the game out the door first, and then start putting your DLC on pre-order and all that. Just on that little visual, I'm sure they're about to say more, so on that little visual alone that we got, just like any other DLC, price tag is going to be a thing. I imagine if it's a $60, $70, $80 game on the base, the price tag for the DLC might end up around the $30 range, which is what we saw for Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. About that kind of price frame, I believe, if I recall correctly. 30, maybe 35, depending on your currency exchange rates or region. But the question is, what all is going to come in Mega Dimension? Obviously, it's got to be more like making paid DLC just to get a couple of Raichus that's incredibly Okay, and that's all we're gonna get right now. We get no information on what the actual paid deal. I'm sure there's more stuff, but the trailer is really dropping the ball on showing us what the paid DLC is going to have, like as far as actual game content, missions, objectives, challenges, side quests, new zones, anything.
You seem pretty out of it.
Originally released over 10 years ago, Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair is making the ultimate comeback.
Oh,
While on a
Danganronpa.
school trip to Jabberwock Island, you
Well,
and
the
your
Game Grumps should be happy about this one. I think they've done like long-running series of playing the entirety of Danganronpa or something, haven't they?
will begin.
Again, another franchise that I have played absolutely nothing of. But
Counter opponents to reveal
the game, I know the games do have some popularity to them. I just haven't really gotten much into it. But it also has a very distinctive visual design, not only with that little mascot character, but the like the art and layering overall is very distinct and stylized to its brand.
different victims and culprits.
The wait is over. The next class trial is about to begin.
Danganronpa 2x2 launches on the Nintendo
Okay,
Switch
the naming there is actually pretty cool. Danganronpa 2x2. I appreciate the way they named that game.
in the Three Kingdoms.
Oh, History in the Three Kingdoms. Okay.
Warriors Origins is marching on to Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh, it's Dynasty Warrior Origins. So are they remaking the original Dynasty Warriors?
As a nameless hero, join forces with Xiao Xiao, Sun Jian, or Liu Bei on your journey to become a true warrior. Your choices will influence your story and may even alter historical events from the Three Kingdoms.
Huh.
Plus, paid DLC is on the way.
Man, they are really pushing the paid DLC for so many games.
And experience new developments that weren't in the main story.
Oh, okay. So the paid DLC. So I guess the Origins is basically a remake of the original Dynasty Warriors. The word Origins just kind of that's what the branding sounds like. But then a paid DLC to expand on that story, I could see that being a cool thing, depending on how much you're charging for everything. Two Kingdoms, Two Riders, Two Fates. What are we looking at here with some Dragon Rider shit? Or are they Dragon? Oh, wait. Wait, is this Monster Hunter? Monster Hunter Stories 3. Oh. Monster Hunter Stories. Now, again, another franchise that I have not played much in. But it looks like they've gone on a visual overhaul of the stories motif, because I thought Monster Hunter Stories had like a more childlike, chibi-fied art direction to it. But this one, they have like the full-grown characters riding full-grown dragons.
It's up to you to venture forth and find the source of the danger in order to prevent total calamity. Raise your monsties, bond with them, and work together to face whatever.
Your monsties. Okay, I'm not really sold on on their naming here.
Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflections, soars onto.
But as far as a game in its own right, it seems like a cool direction to take the Monster Hunter world, the Monster Hunter universe in. Now, again, Monster Hunter is a franchise that I have not played much of. But I have done a judging by the cover review of another Monster Hunter game that came out earlier this year, 2025, with my friends Killian and Flamed Ezra, that sat in on that one, because my friend Killian is a long time fan of Monster Hunter, so he got to fill us in on a bit of what the game series is about, the world, the lore, and how it's a very yes, you're killing monsters in it, but it's a very environmentally driven game with trying to have humans and nature supporting each other in tandem, so that when you're hunting monsters, they are sanctioned missions for the sake of trying to maintain a balance and not having invasive species just wrecking shit. Or even if it's not necessarily an invasive species, to make sure that something that's way above what your normal power tier is, like let's say some Godzilla tier monster just decides one day to wake up and roll over, the Monster Hunters are given missions to be like, Yeah, a lot of shit's gonna die if we don't do something about this. So it's kind of a cool thing. And then seeing like a petrification crisis with Monster Hunter Stories, it's like, okay, that's a cool motif to take that where you are raising the monsters yourselves to kind of do that. It turns it into a bit of a Pokemon like Monster Raiser, it feels like, but not so much so that it feels like a Pokemon ripoff. And heck, even other monster raising games, I would not consider Pokemon ripoffs. Like people make the comparison with Pal World, and yes, some of the visual designs are kind of similar, maybe almost to the point of looking like ripped off actual character designs, but the gameplay is so drastically different that playing the two side by side, you could never confuse the two for each other. And I do like that Monster Hunter Stories, it looks like it has that kind of motif to it, where it is a very unique game as a monster raiser. Okay, 2 Point Museum. That's kind of neat. Hold on. Can I back up like just a few seconds for this, seeing what we're looking at here? 2 Point Museum pre-orders begin. Okay, so October 28th. Ooh. 2 Point Museum. So just seeing like a very brief snapshot of this. It does look kind of cool. Like you have a little dinosaur thing going on. You built this could very much fit into a nice, like, low-cost, cozy game to sit in and vibe with for a while. Running a museum, that's a cool little difference here. Disgaea 7 complete. Okay, so Disgaea, this is another series. I've seen them putting remakes out for this. That's kind of a cool thing. I think I did buy 1 or 2 of them on sale, like the first 1 or 2. I never got too far in them because the gameplay didn't really grab me that much. But the Disgaea games and universe, like by all means, for people that like that, good remake for that, so it's accessible to newer players. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remake. I know that's been getting a lot of hype. Now, I did skip out on Dragon Quest III Remake because I am kind of a diehard fan of the Game Boy Color release of that game. But the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 Remake is one that I might actually give a look, considering that they seem to expand, at least they expand Dragon Quest 2 a little bit. Maybe the first one also gets a little expanded, but I think they add like an extra character. So you have a fourth party member in Dragon Quest 2, which would be kind of cool just to see like, hey, so we're not just limited to the original cast of 3. We might actually get some new content revolving around that new character. Lego Voyagers. Okay, another Lego game. That's kind of a cool little... Oh, wow, wait. You're playing as a block? Like, not a character, but a singular block. Huh. Little Nightmares. All right. Another little spooky horror game on a small scale. That's neat. Persona 3 Reload. Hey, Persona fans. Callan, I'm looking at you. Hold on a sec. Hold up. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Back up. Why does this presumably boss fight look like it's about to give birth? Guys, I have not played Persona. How weird are the Persona games? Like, seriously, this character looks like they're poised for an OBGYN visit. Like, I know Nintendo doesn't make the Persona games, but like, they put this direct together and they put that pose in the direct. Just saying. It's a little weird. Okay, we have a ringing phone. Hallway. Is this Resident Evil or Luigi's Mansion?
Hello?
I gotta sneeze. Oh, gotta sneeze. Oh boy, there we go.
Yes.
Neither?
Who was it? Dunno. They asked for Miss Ashcroft and then they hung up on me. Rude.
Ashcroft. Okay, Capcom. So Resident Evil? Grill 14.
Oh, you're FBI? Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
Okay, mystery, investigation. Visually speaking, it looks good. Now, I have also been very critical of game studios that go so hard to push, oh my god, incredible graphics. But sometimes, the nice visuals, like crisp visuals, sell the tone and the setting, at least. As long as you can use them effectively. Okay, that's not creepy at all. I've been some deep voice saying I've been watching you. Hello.
Tell me what's going on.
Something important.
Grace.
Now, initially, I was getting Resident Evil vibes, but I'm not like 100% up on all the characters and lore. Oh, yep, there we go. That's Umbrella Corp. It's Resident Evil.
No escaping your destiny.
Resident Evil Requiem. Okay, so new characters in the Resident Evil franchise with some kind of course, you're going, oh, wow. So some creepy ass scientist shit going on. Oh, Lady Demetros. Oh, Village. Biohazard and Village bundle.
Entry in the Resident Evil series is launching on Nintendo Switch 2. We hope you're looking forward to Resident Evil Requiem, where you'll face unknown nightmares. Plus, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, the first in the series with a first-person perspective. And Resident Evil Village, which broke new ground for the series, also launched the same day.
Oh, okay. So in February, we're getting
Thank you for watching so far.
like a double pack of some other recent Resident Evil titles as kind of like a nice little way to package things together. I know Bayonetta did a similar kind of thing where it packaged the previous game so that you could get that full experience, and they didn't even charge extra for, like, I think when Bayonetta 2 came out, they did that where the first one just came bundled with it. I don't know that Resident Evil's also doing that, but they are at least releasing them together so that you can get that full experience. Gold Warriors? Okay, what do we got for this warrior thing going on?
Hear me now as I declare that the heroic games have begun.
Okay, like, I'm getting some Roman gladiator vibes going on here. But also it feels kind of Dragon Quest-ish. Or, oh no, Final Fantasy Tactics, isn't it? Or something in that, like, it's something in that Tactics style of gameplay. But in an arena, instead of, like... Or, oh, you know what? No, I bet it's Fire Emblem. I know Fire Emblem has had some banger titles. Again, a series that I have not had much experience with, but a series that has a diehard fan base, including a fan base among some of my friends.
And now warm blood is served in a crude cup.
You think I let you deny me my feelings? I refuse to accept defeat. Not now!
For those who stand upon the final stage, I shall grant whatever wish you may desire. So say I, the divine sovereign.
And I do like that, like, with it, even though they are boasting some incredible graphics here, it's not like the hyper realistic graphics. They allow it to be stylized in its anime aesthetic. right, what is the game title? Did I miss the game title on the screen somewhere?
That was the trailer for Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. The latest
Fire
in the
Emblem
series.
Fortune's Weave. Okay.
This intertwining story happens alongside the thrilling, heroic games. What kinds of stories await?
Stories around the heroic game. So what are the heroic games? Is that something like am I supposed to have played previous games to understand what that is, or is that just kind of like the core aspect, like they're just announcing that as like a main plot point? Well, that said, that was the Nintendo Direct for September 12th, 2025. A lot of really cool titles. Overall, I will say that I have a very, I guess, middling score for the Direct as a whole. There are a lot of games that are on there that aren't things like Danganronpa, Fire Emblem, a bunch of that stuff. The Resident Evil, those aren't games that I personally am looking forward to, but they are franchises that have a long-standing respect in the gaming industry and among players and fans around the world. So I do respect that they are showcasing these things and getting this information out there for the people that are looking forward to those, for the people that enjoy those games. I do appreciate that, gaming has that diversity where no matter how much I like the look of something, somebody else can be looking for something completely different. As for the things that stuck out to me that I'll be keeping my eye open for and possibly doing some judging by the cover reviews, uh, there was that Storm game that was early on. I got to double check that one. I think they said that was in the eShop, so that might be a judging by the cover coming up for this week. There's Dinkum that looked kind of interesting. Poppycom, it looked interesting. Maybe not one that I'd buy. It would depend on maybe if it went on a sale and I could actually, get some consistent friends together to roll around with it. But the thing with that is, for me personally, to have that kind of time and flexibility, I would need friends with schedules that line up to mine, which is not always easy considering work schedules are very much in conflict for that. So it's the kind of game where it's like, it looks cool, it's a great novelty, but I don't see myself having the time to coordinate with friends for that. And then it would also possibly require my games or my friends to also be buying those same games so that we'd all have access to it. Tomodachi Life, I know I mentioned, I am very on the fence about it. I want it to be good. I want to like it. But depending on how much they charge for it and how much actual gameplay there is to it is going to be a factor. Now, in my adult years, I have grown more and more to liking cozy games as evidenced when we saw some of those other things. The museum game, the 2 Point Museum looked incredible. That Pokemon game, that Pokemon Poco whatever it was. The title has already escaped my head. But those cozy games look like they have a fair amount of gameplay for what I hope is going to be a fair price down the line. But when you compare it to Tomodachi Life, for anybody that's played it on the 3DS, you probably know how limited the actual gameplay is, since you basically just have to populate the island and hope for little interaction bubbles to show up on the characters so that you can, see their little character moments that honestly, after a while, they get a little repetitive. Hopefully, the new Tomodachi Life does something to really expand on it, or at the very least, don't make it like if they make it a cheap like $10 thing, that'd be like, okay, I could see it being a $10 novelty, but $40 like it was on the 3DS, I could not see myself spending that again. And if it's anything more than that, like I would assume a 60, 70, $80 AAA game, that would be a hard no for Tomodachi Life, despite the fact that I want it to be good and I want to see it succeed, but I am very much skeptical of just because of my experience with the previous one, even though I really liked the previous Tomodachi Life. Sometimes that's really what it is with a game is you look at it and you're like, is this the kind of thing that I see myself spending the money on? So that being the case, I did like a lot of these trailers. I wrote some of these titles down. I'm going to be looking at the eShop and keeping my eyes out for judging by the cover on Sunday night releases. So make sure to keep a lookout on those for the YouTube channel.